If you grew up thinking because of the fact that your church said you have to give and give and give, and you grew up thinking that you don't need boundaries, you are wrong. You need boundaries. Boundaries are very fundamental and important for your mental and physical health. Remember this. Jesus was a man, and I don't read the Bible literally, but let's read it as a story. Jesus had only 12 disciples, but he only brought 2 of them to pray when he went to like small spaces. He had boundaries as to who was around him and who was in his personal space, how much time he gave to everybody, and the time he had for himself. That's a very important example of how we should live our lives. I think that sometimes when we have grown up with this substitutionary atonement theory that Jesus gave his life for the humanity, that was God's purpose to kill his own son, which I don't believe in that. We think that we don't have to have boundaries because we get closer to God when we sacrifice ourselves. Don't do that. Don't literally kill yourself. Jesus was not killed. That's another story. We'll talk about substitutionary atonement theory, but let me say this. Jesus had boundaries around social justice, and he had boundaries around, well, these are the ways I'm going to treat people, and these are the ways that I am going to stand for people. And that's ultimately what killed him, because people killed Jesus because of the fact that he had boundaries and he didn't just go with the flow of things. So boundaries are very important. And if you come from a church or a community, and I'm talking about church, of course, because that's my thing. Christian healing is my thing, because I'm a post-evangelical, post-fundamentalist. I'm a very liberal person who believes in the person of Jesus, but I don't necessarily believe in everything. But if you have that mentality where the church is telling you all the time, well, you have to give it yourself, and they're putting this on your schedule and you don't know how to say no, you need to say no. Jesus was a human being that, had this divine nature. Yes, I'm talking about the Bible as a story, because I want to reiterate that I don't believe the Bible is literal, but Jesus was a human being on this earth while he was here, who had 12 disciples, was not there for everybody, and in his personal time, he only had a few, and in his very personal time was only him and God. So put your boundaries up. They're very important. Do not let anybody manipulate you or make you feel bad for saying no. One of the most empowering things you can do is say no. People say yes, and yes is inspirational, but it's sometimes more empowering for yourself, because inspiration is about the other person sometimes. Motivation and empowerment is about yourself most of the time. Like, how do you empower yourself? Yes, empowering others, but you want to inspire others, empower yourself. You say no to things, and inspire yourself by saying yes. So empower yourself to say no to things that you don't believe in, and put up those fucking boundaries. Excuse my curse word. Sorry, not sorry on that. Because also curse words are man-made. But put up your boundaries, because you need to do that for yourself.